Hello, welcome to Easy Does It. I'm Easy. I'm doing it. I'm supposed to have a few guests today, but we're down to one as of right now. Although I'm sure Antonio will show up once he can. He's very reliable. Not that Mr. Chicago is not reliable, because you can rely on him for some of the best content. But he's just a little bit late. A little late today. That's okay. We've all been there. Speaking of late, I'm trying to think of how to make this a segue. The Bears made some off-season moves, a little, no, I can't tie it into being late, but the Bears have made a lot of moves so far, a lot to talk about, very exciting. Also, some not so exciting stuff. Like right now, what I'm most annoyed about from this offseason is why are we bringing in Brett Ripien as the backup or to fight for the backup spot? Really? Ripien or Ripien? I don't know how to say it. Ripien, I think. That's how they said it on, like for his pops when he played in the Super Bowl with the Redskins. They'd say, what was his name? Mark Ripien? Yeah. Like that's how they'd say it on NFL film. So that's what I know it as. And that's probably right. But either way, like look, I'm a professional fan. And based on my version of the eye test from what I've seen from Brett Ripien playing football, he's not good even for backup standards. Like first we bring in Nathan Peterman and now we bring in this guy. It's like what's the I don't understand the idea behind it. Now, look, I like Tyson Bagent as a backup. I thought he did some really good things. I thought he did some really bad things. I think he's kind of like I think his ceiling is like a Taylor Heineke. He could give you some exciting plays. A little undersized, but he'll give you some exciting plays, give you some big moments here and there. But he's not good for more than like a game or two a season if you need him. But so yeah, I guess if they really want to go the Heineke route, that's one thing. But excuse me, not the Heineke. I guess if you want to go the Bagent route, that's one thing. Like you bring in this guy to maybe compete for the third string quarterback position. But at that point, like you might as well have me back there. I could do it. I could compete for the third string quarterback position. I got an arm, that's for sure. Yeah, Richard, what up, man? I know he's for the practice squad. Also, I'm glad to have you on the show. Please stay tuned because you're on my side. You're one of the only people, besides, of course, my father. Hey, Dad, welcome to the show. Very funny. You're one of the very few people who is in my corner on this whole Justin Fields, Caleb Williams debate. But yeah, it's just like signing guys like Nathan Peterman and Brett Ripien feels like the ultimate loser franchise move. And I know, they're not going to start. They're not going to see any playing time. But it's just like these kinds of things. Like when Joe Flacco's available, it's like, you could get like a pristine backup who could throw the ball 80 yards, or you could get a guy who's in the NFL because of nepotism. Like, come on. It just feels like a lot. And look, I'm not trying to discredit Brett Ripien. I mean, maybe I am a little bit, but like, I'm sure he's he's accomplished his own things. I'm sure like he was very good in high school and in college. Where did he go? Boise State. Yeah, he's probably great at Boise State on that blue field. But it's just like there's so many better backups out there. Hell, I'd rather have Mitch Trubisky as a backup. Obviously, that ship has sailed, but like, like I can think of a lot of backup quarterbacks I'd rather have than Brett Ripien. Although, really, that's not the hot topic right now in Chicago. And there are some really good moves that have been made by the Bears, and also some moves that are questionable. But to break this down, I want to break it down with someone who actually coaches ball and someone who played some high school and college football, and that is the great Coach Chef. Welcome to the show, Coach Chef. Still working on getting better at these introductions, but how you doing, man?
I'm all right. That's really high esteem when you put the grade out there. I was feeling good. You said the grade. I am mediocre at best.
well.
I appreciate the praise. I appreciate the accolades, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Hello, everyone. It's been some time since the season ended, since most people have seen me. Diab Muhammad, Coach Chef here. Now, I don't want to be the guy, but I'm the guy. A couple things that I can help kind of clarify some of your angst about Brett Ripien. Don't ask me how to pronounce that pronunciation.
Yeah, I just say Ripien, whatever.
Yeah, Brett Ripien. So his dad didn't play in the league. He's his uncle.
Oh, is it a nephew?
Yeah,
I kind of jumped to a conclusion. Thank you for clarifying.
It's okay. It's all right. It happens, especially when that's not a very common name. So in the football landscape, if you hear Ripien, you're like, oh, the guy who quarterbacked the Redskins. That clearly is his son. Everyone does it. It would have been more surprising if they had like zero relation. That would have been even better.
Yeah,
only two Rippins to play. There two Rippins to play are so far on the spectrum.
Quarterbacks.
You're right. So I think they picked him up not as much as he'll compete for that third quarterback spot. But I also think it's a double-edged sword. So you could say, hey, they got him because they're definitely going to get Caleb Williams. Do you really want Tyson Bagent backing up a rookie? Do you really want a second-year quarterback who only had 2 starts in the new offense backing up a brand-new quarterback who's never played in the league? He's a veteran. He's also a veteran that's played in this type of system. I think that as fans, we forget sometimes that in these position group rooms, if you have at least one guy either from a tree or from a previous team or system that is relatable to the system, a new system you have a guy who can, on the player side, can help players relate and players digest the verbiage.
Right.
So
right, yeah, and he's been around. Like, first of all, he was on 3 teams last season, and secondly, he was with Shane Waldron for 2023. So yeah.
Right. I mean, obviously his record isn't the best. I mean, his record is exactly the same record as a starter as Tyson Bagent at 2-2. So he is the quintessential backup. Obviously, his interception rating is awful. I think it's like 4-9.
It is 4-9. That would have been really good in 1930.
It actually would have been.
Even then, probably wouldn't have been much, but
But I think he's more of a guy, and that's if you get Caleb Williams. You keep Justin as just another veteran that help the lingo that it's going to take. Because there's always you have the coach going down your throat, the quarterback coach, the OC, telling you we're going to call these plays. But hey, sometimes a player who's done it and who can help you further understand, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is what the call is for a particular reason. I almost called him Brett Ripien too. The Peter Man. He didn't see the field last year. I think he barely saw the field a couple snaps when Bagent got hurt, I believe, in one of the games for a few snaps. But no difference in the backup tight end that they signed. I think he also has a background. He's obviously a good player, but he also has a background playing with under Shane Waldron when he was either a quarterback coach or OC. But he also has familiarity with the system, which also will help in, offensive meeting room, the tight end meeting room, or whatever it has been with the players who are not familiar with the system. So I think it would have been more telling if they signed like for instance, if they would have signed a guy who I would prefer them to sign, like if they would have signed a guy like Tyrod Taylor, If they signed a guy like Tyrod Taylor, I would have been like, that would have made me feel like they're definitely going to draft Caleb Williams because that's that is a solidified ex-starter, solidified backup guy. But hey, maybe
that's like a solid backup. That's a real back, like probably the best backup in the league, like one of them for sure. You know,
him and Joe Flacco are considered the top tier backs because these guys have started. People forget Tyrod Taylor was the first quarterback to lead the Buffalo Bills back to the playoffs since the '90s. So
I remember
the playoffs with the Music City Miracle. The last time the Buffalo Bills, before they got Josh Allen, before they kicked Tyrod Taylor out the door, and before Tyrod Taylor was tried to replace Tyrod Taylor with the Peterman.
Your mic is fading in and out. Your mic is fading in and out big time.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear most of what you're saying, but it's very choppy. It sounds like you're gargling oatmeal or something. A little bit.
Oh, that's awful. I wish I could though. Was it doing the entire time or just started? Is that better?
Yeah, no. I got what you said about Tyrod Taylor, about how, he's the first guy to lead the Bills to the playoffs since since the 90s, since the Music City Miracle. Here, trivia question: who started that game at quarterback for the Bills?
That was Rob Johnson.
Trivia.
Rob Johnson.
Good job.
Oh, no, most Rob Johnson because he was replacing.
No, you're right. Most people would say Flutie, but it was Rob Johnson. You're correct. So that's a good one. But yeah,
I was in like 8th grade when that game. I was in the beginning stages of my diehard football when I watched NFL live before it was online. You could just get out of school and watch it like before online and all this stuff. You had to actually set your clock, mental clock, to be like, hey, NFL Live is on right now. I gotta watch it. Or if you're really that
believe me,
you had to set the PCR.
Oh no, believe me. Back in my day, I used to love getting home from school and turning on channel 212. We had satellite because my dad's really cool, and we got just turning on NFL Total Access. Like that was like my favorite thing. Like I totally get that, and I watched every playoff game and all that. So no, I totally feel that. Real quick though, I want to go ahead and add Crooked Commish, who just left mysteriously. So I'm not going to add Crooked Commish yet because he left, but he will join in a few seconds. But yeah, go ahead, Diab, Coach.
But I think so far this offseason has shown that one, I believe I'm using multiple sources. It's not like I have the time to break down the salary cap. But I think what I believe is happening is that we're at the ending stages of this quote unquote rebuild where Post was tearing things down financially and getting things down to the studs or the hard, the 4x4s, the framework of the roster, building an established roster. We haven't talked about it. I don't know if he was trying to segue, excuse me, or pre-segueing for you. You get a veteran, a certified veteran and receiver in Keenan Allen for first round pick, which did not think that was even palatable. Luckily, he didn't want to restructure his deal with Chargers. You get these guys who we're in a quote unquote, as Mr. Chicago say, we're going to win now, or as Mr. Chicago say, Poles better get this right. He better get it right.
Such a good impression of Mr. Chicago. No, that's such a good impression of him. But yeah, we better get this right. It's really funny.
It is like,
but yeah, no,
God forbid
that is right. That is what we're going through. Yeah.
So yeah,
I do want continue what you're saying. Sorry, it's a little hard to like. If you have a different microphone, if you could possibly switch to a different mic, that would be great. I know you might not have access to that, or maybe you might need to use the computer one.
I will try to work on that.
All right, yeah, it's all good. But yeah, no, what was I saying? Yeah, but the Keenan Allen move, I think this is the move that separates teams that actually give a shit and teams that are just kind of pretending to give a shit, because you need two receivers. If you look around the league, you got not Antonio Brown. You got the Eagles with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, competitive every year. You got Crooked Commish, who is joining the show now. So, Crooked, how's it going, man?
Good. Sorry
we're talking,
I'm late, but
we're talking receivers.
it's always good to be
we're
on here talking Keenan Allen.
What'd you say? Crooked, what did you say? Yeah, the new guy. Wow, what's with everyone's Wi-Fi tonight?
The new guy.
Yeah, Keenan.
Yeah, I noticed that too when I first tried to come in and stuff. A little choppy.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. Is it choppy on my end?
We're
No, it might be Coach, but either way,
you're
look.
coming in clear. It looks like there's a bit of a delay, though.
A slight lag. Well, we'll adjust. We'll make our adjustments as we do. So, yes. Coach, I'd like to get, or not Coach, Crooked, because you just joined the show. I'd like to get your overview of this Keenan Allen move, and how you're kind of feeling about it. Where are we at right now? How do you feel about obviously giving up a 4th round pick in the Bears' history? That's kind of been a lottery pick, and I'm curious to know how you feel. Going forward, you think this is a good move? A lot of people have some reservations about it, but I personally think it's a good move. But I'd love to hear I'd love to hear your take.
Yeah, overall, I do like it. I would have loved it more if we could have maybe done it for 2025 4th round pick.
Sure.
This year's pick, just because we really don't have that many of them. But overall, I do like it. I would like to see them extend him, like redo that contract and give him an extension, even if it's a 2-year extension or something like that. Nothing crazy.
I agree. It'd be nice to get him for
I'm not going to like the trade as much as if we only have him for that 1 year. Yeah, if he's just a 1-year rental and we give up a 4th round pick for a 1-year rental, that's going to be like, if that's the case, this is like win now mode. Like, I don't understand the point of bringing in this veteran guy for only 1 year, and then you're going to draft Caleb Williams, and then he's not going to even be here next year. If you're going to give him an extension.
Oh, I think the idea is to, just build confidence in a rookie quarterback. Although Anthony here, what up, Amp? Glad you're joining us. Of course, thinks that it's for Justin Fields. Obviously, thinks that he got he's saying he's got him new toys to play with, so to speak. Which I see that line of thinking too. But Coach, I'd love to hear your insight on that as well.
Well, I hope you can hear me. I hope so.
I can hear you a little. It's a little better. Sounds a little better.
So, I think it's both ways. It can be for Justin to establish, hey, we got you these weapons, the Swift, the extra tight end, the receiving core. We're going to draft another receiver, whatever. We got you a center who's a bona fide center. We got these pieces where you shouldn't do any wrong, regardless of new offense. We'll give you games, but you have to be successful. I think also it could be for a rookie quarterback saying, hey, we've got all these things that we just need you to steer this ship as a rookie and not sink it, so we look serviceable going into your 2nd year as a rookie, and then we can establish more talent, because if we win, then more people are going to sign for 2024, 2025. I think, like Crooked Commish said, that extending Keenan Allen will be good on 2 aspects. One, you lessen the cap hit, which is a really big cap hit this year. If you restructure his deal and extend him, you get to back load possibly and shorten the amount of money that you can get another free agent or sign more rookies. I don't think that the Chargers want to give up a next year's 4th round pick for a guy that talented, a guy who didn't actually even want to restructure the deal with them, because he wasn't looking for a restructure. They wanted him to restructure the deal for less money. So no matter who the quarterback, now I went from in January thinking that that Justin Fields has to be the guy to now believing there's probably a 70% chance we're going to draft another quarterback. I still have hope that we keep Fields, but I cannot help but think that with all these tools, people can say, oh, you can win with a rookie on a rookie quarterback scale. I want to know how many rookies have won Super Bowls. I want to know how many second-year players
Zero.
have won Super Bowls. I want to know how many third-year have won Super Bowls. Besides, yes, Tom Brady has won a Super Bowl, and technically his second year as a professional, he wasn't even a star going into the season. Patrick Mahomes didn't get Super Bowl and won it until I believe his third or fourth year. But those are very outlier-ish type things. I think keeping the quarterback that we have in Justin and getting more talent and still having a good space under the salary cap is the best way to go, because yes, we'll make the playoffs. We could definitely realistically make the playoffs. I mean, CJ Stroud just did, but his inexperience did not help them in the second game when they played a veteran team like the Ravens. And we're not going to go to an NFC Championship game with a brand new rookie. Throw him the keys, let him drive the car right now. I don't care how talented he is. There's going to be some curve. Is always the curve in the NFL, the rookie, whether it's beginning of the season, middle of the season, end of the season, or the playoff, at some point where he's going to hit a wall and it's going to end abruptly. And then now you're saying, okay, well, we got year 2, 3, and 4.
Coach, hear me out. Hear me out for a sec, Coach. Hear me out. Like, yes, obviously, rookie quarterbacks have never won. I don't think a rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. I know, like, second year, I think Russell Wilson was the first second-year quarterback maybe to win a Super Bowl. But, you know, usually, yeah, obviously it takes a little time for young quarterbacks to get acclimated to the NFL because it's the toughest position and the most important. It's the most important position in sports. I don't know about the toughest position, but it's definitely the most important position, just like when you look at all the major sports in America. That said, I think that when it comes to the Bears and the way the Bears are structured right now, which is a very impressive defense that really, you know, found its stride towards the end of the season. Now, 2 really good receivers. One of them is probably destined for Canton in Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. I don't think DJ Moore's ever even made a Pro Bowl, but he's been snubbed every year, pretty much. You know, and a really good back in DeAndre Swift, by the way. Did he make it this year? Did he get? He might have gotten in this year. But you know, really
was he not
good.
An alternate? He didn't even make an alternate this year.
He might have been an alternate. I'll double check on that. But either way, look, 2 really like 2 number 1 receivers who complement each other very well. Keenan Allen is not really a speed demon, but man, on third down, like he's going to be the ultimate possession guy for whoever the quarterback is. And then you got what's his name, and then you got DJ Moore, who is more of a burner, who could also be a possession guy and do a bunch of different things. Coach will most likely join us in a minute. And yeah, I mean, and obviously Cole Kmet, who had kind of a breakout year last year, a couple really good running backs, and Everett, the new tight end, Gerard Everett, who's, you know, kind of brought in to be a tight end number 2. I think that the Bears are right now in a better position than most teams that are starting a rookie quarterback. You know, like obviously the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence were in a terrible position when they had Urban Meyer, and, you know, they lost their second pick in Travis Etienne that year, and like they just didn't have any good weapons. They're just a shit show, an absolute shit show. The Bears,
the number 1 quarterback in that draft.
What'd you say? Hey, there he is.
Remember Trump? Yeah. So just people forget this. People have really short minds. So people say, people continuously saying that Caleb Williams is the first generational quarterback or the best quarterback to come out. It's Andrew Luck, who came out probably 2012? No. Is it 2012? Could be 2012.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Lorenzo, let's put some nuance on that comment for a minute, okay? One sec. Yeah, I'll get to you in a sec. I want to add some nuance to this comment. Yes, Kmet and Moore had career years. Who was the QB? Fields. Yes, of course. Let's backtrack on that for a minute. Kmet's the only other quarterback that Kmet has played with is Mitch Trubisky. So, you know, take that as you will. And DJ Moore, yeah, like who has DJ Moore played with receiver wise in his career? You know, Cam Newton was very injured. Kyle Allen or Brandon Allen, one of the Allens, I don't know, with Carolina. Look, he hasn't had much, all right? He hasn't had much is the point I'm trying to make. So, yeah, you're right. They did have career years with Justin Fields as the quarterback. But that doesn't mean, one, that they were like that doesn't mean one, like they can't do what they did last year with another quarterback, and two, it doesn't mean that it was necessarily a great year for Justin Fields, because we all know it wasn't. It was objectively not a great year for Justin Fields. And I mean, yeah, like what are we comparing their career years to? We're comparing them to a bunch of shit. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, yes, it's still a fact, but that doesn't, it's a fact that you're sharing to adhere to your narrative, which is that, Justin Fields.
You can only go up from there at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you can only go up from Nick Foles and the Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky combo. You can only go up from, I think he had Andy Dalton a little bit last year. Who else is quarterback Carolina since Cam Newton left? Obviously, Kyle Allen, and then obviously Bryce Young this past year.
A lot of guys.
Quarterbacks less talented than Fields.
What'd you say? Yeah, that kind of cut out.
True, very true. So the thing. So I think it's more in line for Fields to be the guy and like take over and get another shot. Because like right now, all the QB vacancies are taken. Like where else can he really go where he's going to be the starting guy? Like, well, yeah, exactly. Anywhere else he goes, he's going to be a backup.
I don't think any team.
This is really his only spot where he can stay and start.
I don't think he would start over any quarterback on any team. That's kind of what I've been saying. If I look at the league, maybe the Patriots over Brissett. The Broncos. I think the Broncos, really. Like the answer is the Broncos.
He's not going to the Broncos because we know that their head coach doesn't do athletic quarterbacks who hold the ball. He likes people who do what he wants them to do and get the ball out fast. I think he's a charlatan as a coach anyway, kind of a charlatan. Not complete charlatan, but a semi-charlatan.
Lorenzo, I don't want to say saying the exact opposite, but sorry, continue, Diab.
No problem. I think that the head coach for the Broncos is charlatan. That's why they let a quarterback. They're going to pay the quarterback they just let go almost. Is it 40? I don't know. It's more than 40 million to not play.
Coach, I could barely understand a word you're saying. It is all muffled. It's all muffled at this point. You might need to just talk it to the computer if you can, or figure something out, because I really want to hear what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Like ever so slightly better. I heard you say, "Is that better?"
He doesn't see him as a starting quarterback for every single.
Man, everyone's all just fading out today.
Fields wouldn't be a starter for every NFL team.
Yeah, I don't think he'd replace.
So, and I get that.
Like if he went to the Jets,
if he
went to the Jets, he wouldn't replace Aaron Rodgers.
Quarterbacks that are more established.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying like not even more established. I just think that like I think every other team in the league. I think every other team in the league would go with their guy over Justin Fields. Or not every team, but most teams. Not Denver necessarily, because I think Denver, obviously, as Coach was saying, Sean Payton is not the kind of coach who likes Justin's style of play, because Sean Payton is very ego-driven and he likes to play. He likes to coach football to where, the guys are getting the ball out really fast and, like are running his plays and not, letting the plays break down and whatnot. And yes, Richard, that is the exact point I'm making. Fields can't pass from the pocket, which is why no team wants him. Look, there is a lot of
audacious statement, don't you think? He can't. Like when people talk in these absolutes, is very odd to me.
We haven't seen him do it a lot, but I don't know if that means he can't do it.
Most of his touchdowns, in fact, the bulk of his career touchdowns are all from the pocket. The bulk of them are within structure, typically off of play action. The least amount of his passes are from outside the pocket as he's been scrambling, but I digress.
But look, also, that said, he still doesn't pass a lot from the pocket, just in general, because like he's not like getting a lot of yards every game from in the air. And I know obviously like the scheme matters, and I know he hasn't always had the best weapons in the world. I also know that a quarterback's job is to elevate the people around him, and I think that is important to note. And I think that Caleb Williams is more likely to be an elevator of talent than Justin Fields has been. And that's kind of like the whole argument that I've been having, like just in the group. And I know I'm very much on an island within the group, but like, hey, we can't just be an echo chamber. right? Like if everybody on the show was just saying, or if everybody on the network was just saying, we got to keep Justin, then it wouldn't be interesting because then there's no debate, then there's no argument. And now I'm not deliberately going out of my way to be a contrarian. I'm just saying, based on what I've observed from Caleb Williams and from Justin Fields, I think that going with Caleb going forward is kind of where I stand. And that's and I know Lorenzo don't like that too much, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
I know this is a hypothetical. But I did some math a while back. So say Justin doesn't miss those 4 games. Say he plays those 4 games, which put him at 17 start and 17 played, right? And he averaged about 100, just under or just around 200 yards a game. So if he plays based on his average per game, he puts up 3,000 yards and roughly between 20 to 23 touchdown passes. He throws maybe another picks. So say he throws 10 picks. He has 3,000 yards. He's on the cusp of 3,000. Since they went 2-2 with that, I want to say he goes 2-2. So instead of being 5-8, he goes 7-10. Are we still replacing him? If he throws for 3,000, say 3,080, whatever, he throws for 21 touchdowns, 22. He throws 10 picks, which is still a much better TD to turnover ratio that he's had as far as touchdowns to interceptions. Are we still replacing him with Caleb, who we assume is going to be better, playing just as erratic as Justin is claimed to play, with playing outside of structure? And we're saying
I'd say yes. I'd say yes. We still would be going with Caleb, and the reason is, first of all, the Bears were 2-2 without Justin Fields this year, right? The Chargers game was a nightmare. The Saints game up and down, and the offense looked really good in the Raiders game, and they did just enough against Carolina because Carolina was dog water. But yeah, I mean, I think the answer is yes. They would still be looking into Caleb Williams because
if we didn't have the number 1 pick from the Carolina, if we didn't have the number 1 pick from Carolina, we were still sitting at 7-10, which that's the record, 7-10, and we had the number 9 pick. Are we trading up for a quarterback, or are we staying here getting someone else?
Well, we're probably staying here getting someone else, but this has fallen into our lap.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. That I'll say. Yeah, I think we're having the conversation like
we're in a very unique point in time.
The conversation would be this is his prove it year. It's make or break for Justin Fields this year. But I think now that we have this guy who's got just this otherworldly potential and he's fallen into our lap, we got to take advantage of that. He
does? Are we sure of that?
Yes.
Are we sure he has otherworldly potential?
Absolutely. Potential.
Potential,
that's the word.
So
that's
the last
word is potential.
The last can't miss quarterback. Do you remember the last can't miss quarterback before Caleb Williams?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, exactly.
Sunshine.
Now,
Trevor Lawrence
has not lit up the world, but he has been to a playoff. And he has had some rough innings with some coaches. But are we saying that he's lighting up the world, his current roster? Is Trevor Lawrence lighting up the roster? Because I would say that out of high school and coming into the league, regardless of his high school trophy, I would take Trevor Lawrence over Caleb Williams.
Well, look, that I could see why you'd say that. I don't think that's
taking steps in the right direction for sure.
Yes, I agree. That's a very key point.
Stronger,
and also
just as athletic.
And also, no, look, I see what you're saying. I when it comes to comparing them as a prospect and how much potential each quarterback has. Yeah, I get it. I totally think I definitely see the pros and cons to each. I think Trevor's. I think Caleb's got a better arm. I think Trevor is probably a little bit more sturdy, if that makes sense. Better in the pocket, whatnot. The difference is, and here's the difference, and this is something that people have asked me so many times to explain, and I've explained it, and they still it just goes right over their heads. And this is something that I've gotten, this is what all the scouts are saying, and that is when the play breaks down, Justin Fields does not keep his eyes downfield. He looks to run immediately. Caleb Williams always keeps his eyes downfield. Sometimes to a fault, right? Because, he could take some easy yards, but he's always, keeping his eyes downfield, trying to make the play. I would much rather have the quarterback who's looking to make that big play, who's looking downfield, trying to make something happen, than the guy who is just looking to run first. And that's kind of like, that's really what it comes down to, because at the end of the day, the quarterback's job is to win games. And the easiest route to winning games is throwing the ball. And Caleb does it better than a lot of people. And you put him in this offense with these receivers. I think the Bears will be really good. I think they'll be really good, and I think for a while.
So to jump in and answer your question, Chef. As far as like, would he still be, if Justin Fields had that good year or decent year, would we still be picking him? I think it would be a harder choice, but I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility for the GM to do that. And just because I think I was saying this to Easy on the last time we were on, Poles to be in that unique position to have the number one pick 2 times in his GM career and to never take a quarterback of his choice. And if it doesn't work out, he may lose his job. And he would have his stint in Chicago, and he's like, I never even got to draft a quarterback. So that's why I think it would still very much in the realm of possibilities to where he would just draft a quarterback just to say, hey, I took my swing, and just like Pace did. I had conviction on Trubisky, and I drafted my guy, and I wanted my guy, and it didn't work out, obviously. But I could see that kind of thinking from that GM saying, this may be in my only GM shot, and I'm going to draft a quarterback at least once.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's why I'm like, go ahead, Coach.
No, I'm not going to try to sound trying to sound above it all and high and mighty, but isn't it very interesting that we have this idea of these GMs where they're saying, I got to have my quarterback. I got to draft the guy that I want. Like, your job as a GM is to build a roster with whatever tools that you have. And just because you get your quarterback doesn't, even if your quarterback is successful in whatever reason successful can be, whether that's not even getting to the Super Bowl, having winning seasons, or bringing in fans. But the objective is winning, and you need the quarterback to win. But football is still a team sport, right?
Absolutely.
You can talk about Tom Brady. No quarterback has won with theoretically a bunch of bums. No quarterback has walked into a Super Bowl with a bunch of free agent receivers and running backs. None in the Super Bowl era. Maybe they weren't touted as a league, but they all came from college. They're all talented guys. Tom Brady had. I'm one of the people who think that Tom Brady won his 3 Super Bowls strictly off the fact that defense was amazing, and he was just being a game manager.
Yeah, well,
because once he got real talent, then he started putting up stats. But so I just think that us pushing the narrative that every GM has to have his quarterback is really, I don't know. I feel indifferent about it, but that's just my personal feeling. I'm not saying it bolsters the fact. And Easy, just so you know, I'm not anti Caleb Williams. I'm a realist. I'm a pragmatist.
I know you're not anti Caleb Williams.
More than a possibility that they're going to get.
I'm not saying it necessarily has to be that way.
Go ahead, Tonio. Crooked commish.
I'm not saying it has to be that way. It just seems like that just is the trend of what GMs do. That's just their logic. That's just GMs time after time after time seem to do that. Not necessarily that's the right way or they should be doing it. I agree with you, Chef, to where you need to win. Just win, baby. The whole point is putting the best roster. Who gives a shit if it was the last guy's GM thing?
Amp, to answer your question, it was
have some sort of ego about them.
Amp, to answer your question, it was
December 6th, 2018. My players that I was to the Super Bowl.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off, and I'm forgetting I can't just interject as much when there's a bit of a lag. But yes, no, you're right, Crooked, and the ultimate goal is to win. The GM's job is to win games, to put together a team that wins games, right? That's the ultimate goal, is to win as many games as possible. And no, Amp, Justin Fields was not the quarterback. Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback, and the Bears have not beat the Packers since then. That was 2018. It was December 16th. I watched the fourth quarter with my dad. It was great. We were celebrating. It was very exciting. And that was the last good moment as a Bears fan. Not entirely true, but
and what fucked
yeah,
us was Eddie Jackson getting hurt on that last interception. That last interception that ended the game. Eddie Jackson, instead of just going down, correct. He tried to.
He had to run around
his ankle, and then he was out for the playoffs, and we got bumped. And
he was never the same. He was never the same. That loss, that win, even that win,
it's a damn shame too.
You know, and but yeah, I think back to this this
it was
this
bittersweet because it was nice to beat Green Bay and keep them out of the playoffs, and it got us in the playoffs. We thought we were turning the corner there and be like, all right, finally, we got the new hot quarterback, our coach in here with Nagy. He's going to be the new coach for the next 8-10 years. And we thought we were turning the corner and like everything was going to start rolling our way. And that first year just ended up being kind of a mirage or just kind of fool's gold, because then the next year was 8-8, and then the next year was 8-8, and the offense never grew.
Yeah, it was very sad.
I know that talking quarterback talk is what everyone wants to do, but I want to be more positive. Can we just talk about all these weapons, no matter who the quarterback has? Can we just gloat that we have Keenan Allen, we have Swift, who's a athletic dual threat running back who can block, run, and catch out of the backfield. DJ Moore. Swift. We have two tight ends who are capable of putting up yards and run after catch, and can score. They're athletic. We have a line that's getting better. Like, I'm anti-drafting a left tackle. I think that the left tackle we have, regardless of the 5th round, I think he's fine. But we do need a center, and we do need swing guards and swing tackles, which we've signed already.
Which we've gotten some, yeah.
I'm just of everything outside the quarterback, and I don't want to worry about the quarterback until I hear a trade or I see a draft pick. I just want to say, even if someone's like, well, someone's got to throw the ball. At this point, regardless of who the quarterback is, I don't give a damn who's throwing the ball. All I know is, first time in many years as a Bears fan, I have 2 receivers who I know are bona fide 1,000-yard receivers. Haven't seen that since Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, if only we could bring back Josh McCown, man, because those
and a tight end with Martellus Bennett.
Yeah, no, that was and I think Cole Kmet and Martellus Bennett. That's actually, it's not a bad comp. Yeah, go ahead, Crooked.
So just Swift and Tony Pollard, they got equally the same kind of contracts, or very similar. Between just those 2 players, are you happy with Swift, or would you have liked to have rather seen maybe Tony Pollard?
Swift.
I would rather have seen Swift, no doubt about it.
He's been a bona fide running back. He's been number 2. He can catch it. He can block it. He can run it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Swift is like, I think it's almost incomparable. No, Tony Pollard, I think is. Look, I've been saying that, I think Tony Pollard is one of the more overrated players in football, and I've been saying this for a while. Once he became the feature back in Dallas, yeah, he did good, but I mean, Swift does so much more. Swift at Georgia, he was awesome. Even last year with Dallas, Tony Pollard was fine. He was fine, but he wasn't he's not lighting the world on fire. I think Swift is much more likely to be an actual game changer. I think he's one of those guys you could send into the I would have loved Saquon Barkley, but you could still do some things, you could send him into the slot, create some mismatches, things like that. And I think he and Roschon Johnson are going to be a really, really good pair. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Don't forget about my boy Herbert.
This is the last year for Herbert.
Good tandem. That's a good tandem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Really, it's a good 3-headed monster you got going.
In the comments, which one would you?
What'd you say, Crooked?
Wondering what the people in the comments people in the comments chat and let us know what you think as far as what is your favorite free agent signing or acquisition so far this offseason. Is it Swift? Is it Keenan Allen? Is it somebody else or whatnot?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that as well.
It's Keenan
Right
Allen.
now, yeah. So let's go through
Allen,
it.
hands down.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen is a Hall of Fame receiver that we're getting for a 4th round pick. That's amazing. That's amazing. Especially, like it's nice because the Chargers gave up so much to get Mac from us, and now it's cool that we're getting someone from them. It's good doing business with them. Oh, we got Mr. Chicago. Mr. Chicago. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Chicago. Glad you're here. I got to work on my intros, but yeah. How are you, Mr. C? I'm gonna put you right in the fire here.
All right.
How you feel about all these off-season moves? Like, how you feel like Poles is doing? Where are you at right now?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, glad to join you guys. Hope you all doing well. Secondly, man, you know what? I've been keeping a mental note, writing this stuff down and Pole's been doing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm actually liking these moves he's making. Obviously, when it comes to the offensive line, these are all depth pieces, right? We need these pieces, obviously backing up our starters, whoever they may be, right? But this Keenan Allen move, I mean, shit. People call me crazy for thinking that we should go after T. Higgins in a trade, but the fact that we only had at the time 5 draft picks to work with, it's like Poles, so far we've seen Poles. He has put himself in position to gather more picks, not necessarily lose more. And the fact that he's willing to go trade another pick away for one of the top route running receivers in the NFL, granted he's 30, but the fact that he still managed to get 1,200 yards plus last year, missing
he had
about
108 catches last season.
108 catches, 1,200 plus yards, 7 touchdowns in
13 games. In 13 games.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
And the fact that he's still one of the premier top 10 receivers in this game. Now tagging along with DJ Moore, who's an up and coming young talented receiver himself. Man, listen, I can't tell you a time where I felt this excited about this team. Like, for the first time in franchise history, we're not doing dumb shit with our draft picks, with our money, with the position that we're in. And I appreciate that. I love seeing this. This is a new type of different for me. And you know what? The fact that he went to go get Keenan Allen, it kind of usurps the opportunity he missed with at least going after Danielle Hunter. Because I like Hunter. I
wanted Hunter so bad. Yeah,
he's been a 10-plus sack player, and he's only missed. He started almost every game, almost every year except last year. And the fact that we could have had him opposite of Montez Sweat, I would have been like, damn, that would have been lethal. But
look, I will say, Mr. Chicago, about that though, specifically that. First of all, I think Danielle Hunter wanted to go home because he's from the Houston area.
From Houston,
and so, I got to respect that. I can't get mad at now, the Bears for not being able to win that. Hey, welcome to the show, Chef Junior. We got the junior chef.
Now, I didn't know for sure if we actually went after Danielle Hunter or if we were just like looking at him and possibly talking to him. But the fact that he's investing more money in this offense, like I've been asking for, I appreciate this shit because the offense needs to lead this team, not the defense any damn more. This is not 1985. This ain't 2006. We need our defense to back the offense and not the other way around. So,
also, I just want to point out the last time the Bears signed an elite pass rusher from the Vikings did not work out so well. That was Jared Allen. And I'm not saying that
it was okay. No, Allen was pretty good with us for.
Allen was good with us,
and then we moved to a 3-4. And then we went to 3-4, and he was out of position.
That was the problem. It wasn't Jared Allen. It was the fact that we transitioned because we fired coaches at that time. But I'm like,
hey, let's ask this 32-year-old defensive end to play linebacker.
Jared Allen was still pretty productive for us.
You could move Clay Matthews from 3-4 outside linebacker to a 4-3 outside linebacker. You can't move a Jared Allen into a 3-4 outside linebacker.
The edge rushers is a lot harder to move.
Not a guy whose hand is always in the dirt.
Yes,
his hand was always in the dirt.
He made a sick interception, I remember. But
those pass rushes, it's harder to transition from one defensive scheme to the next. But the linebackers, pretty much, they work in all schemes, right? And so they just, a lot of these different languages and terminologies are different from different teams. But the linebackers, for the most part, they pretty much are stationary. They know what they're supposed to do in 3-4 and 4-3. So,
and I will say, on the subject of linebackers, I'm still very comfortable knowing we got two good ones in Edmonds and Edwards, especially Edwards.
Absolutely.
I feel like Edwards is not afraid to punish the receivers. Like, yeah, they might catch it on him, but he's going to hit them. And I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And even the running backs who try to like catch screen passes up the middle and things like that too. He's right there with him. So, well, I think he either led the league in tackles or he was like one of top 3 in tackles.
That's one stat I don't like, and I'll explain. I never like counting tackles for linebackers because, like a linebacker could have 100 tackles because he's going to tackle the guy when they run the ball. How do we know if a tackle is you stuffed him in the backfield for a gain of 1 yard or you got carried for about 6 or 7 yards?
Well,
now with TJ Edwards wasn't getting carried, like he was doing a good job, but yes, but like and I was actually talking with Noah Gross about this. I don't know if you're watching, Noah, but we were talking about how. Like, we don't like, if we're looking at a linebacker and we see a bunch of good counting like a bunch of good tackles, but like not a lot of sacks, not a lot of TFLs, and not a lot of
tackles or significant plays.
I want a guy who can get the ball, I feel like Edmonds and Edwards are very ball hungry, which is good.
They are, and I love that about them. And you know what? Tremaine plays damn good coverage football when he's covering a certain area, like specifically in the middle. Like him and TJ will just work well off each other, and I appreciate that about them because you saw if TJ wasn't making an interception, it was Tremaine, right?
They
were just
they do the tip drill in practice for sure.
Absolutely, so I appreciate that about them.
Hey, Easy.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to slightly counter your idea about the tackles for linebackers, and I understand your point when you say, "How do we know that these tackles matter impactfully?" I'm going to give a rough estimate and say there are no piss poor linebackers who are tallying 120, 130 tackles in the season on bad defenses who are not impactful. Because if your linebackers are impactful, then their numbers actually go down, and then your safety numbers jump up because the run game defense is poor.
Right. Well, I think what that points to more often than not is one, if your linebackers aren't getting like it could be one, your linebackers aren't getting a certain amount of playing time. Two, maybe you're putting the other team in second and long, third and long, more passing situations, which could also be a credit to the linebackers. And three, that could also be attributed to I feel like really, really bad linebackers, like truly bad linebackers, are the ones who you would see that. Like when you see safeties have high tackle numbers, it generally points to the linebackers being more on the side of being actually bad instead of just serviceable.
And that's think about this though. So when linebackers are oftentimes missing tackles, that's a sign for a bad linebacker versus a linebacker that's asked to do more than what his primary job is. That's an indictment on the front four that's in front of him because the linebackers are the second in defense. They're the second responders to the front four or the front three, depending on whatever scheme they're in, right? So if that defensive line is not doing their job, more times than not, the linebackers are asked to do a hell of a lot more in those defensive schemes than the front four is actually pretty much able to do. And that's the problem. And even from
that's the problem that
safeties got a lot of tackles, and that mean our linebackers in our front four ain't doing too goddamn well. That's a sign for a terrible defense altogether because our safety shouldn't be leading us in tackles. That's unheard of, right? So situations where that may have been the case. Like for instance, using Roquan, for example.
I was about to say, with Roquan.
Roquan was great, but he was asked to do more than what his primary job was because our front four couldn't stop a goddamn nosebleed.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
And the second line defense were the linebackers who had to get to that ball carrier, and a lot of times they were fatigued, they were tired, and the offensive linemen
could get to the second level and maximize their leverage on Roquan like immediately because
and you saw Roquan
with no one overpowering on the D line. I like Justin Jones, but like,
I remember one time, Carson Wentz moved Roquan Smith. I was like, what the hell?
Well,
like,
look,
knock his damn shoulder pads off.
Say what you want.
I realized though he was too tired from taking all that beating from the damn offensive line.
Talk all the shit. Talk all the shit about Carson Wentz you want. One thing I will say about him is he's a big fucking strong guy. Like he's like 6'5", 240. He's like a step below Roethlisberger. He's like, I mean, like if anyone's gonna block, like it's embarrassing. Like your linebacker gets blocked by a quarterback. What'd you say, Crooked?
It's not like it was Bryce Young that was giving him the stiff arm.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. It's not like
that would have happened.
It's not like Doug. It's not like Doug Flutie giving him the business. It's actually like it's a real strong football guy. Not that I'm a big amazed. I want to read this comment real quick. Dave, first of all, Daniel Kalen, welcome to the show, man. And yeah, go Blackhawks. I got my Bedard jersey on. Thank you, cousin Isaac. Great Hanukkah gift. Amazed Gabe.
My Blackhawks hat too.
Yeah, well, no, you're good. Look, the Blackhawks are worse than the Bulls right now, which is sad. But amazed Gabe Davis went to Jacksonville, and DJ Wonham went to the Cardinals over the Bears. Yeah, or went to the Panthers over the Bears.
Carolina.
Yeah, look, I didn't know we were in the Wonham market. I'm not a Gabe Davis fan. I'm sorry. I think that Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis is. I think he's like good. I think he's a good receiver, like a decent player. I don't. Yeah, I like Keenan Allen.
But think about this easy. Gabe Davis, his touchdown and first down percentage is one of the highest in the NFL. I actually looked at his numbers. He is more prone to either get a touchdown or a first down almost 77% of the damn time, which is incredible because he was.
I think a lot of that has to do with his quarterback
offense, like Buffalo, and he was successful in that.
I think that has a lot to do with I think that has a lot to do. Sorry, my dog's barking. I think that actually has a lot to do with Josh Allen. Just frankly enough, yeah. Like, I think he's one of those guys who's able to elevate the guys around him, kind of like Mahomes has been doing the past couple seasons without a lot of talent at the receiver position. So yeah, on the one hand, yeah, like I mean, the receivers got to make the plays too, so you got to give credit where it's due. But I don't think there's anything particularly special about Davis's game, and just based on the Bills fans I've talked to, he drops a lot of shit too. So like, I'm happy with Allen over the other guy.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Now, Keenan Allen obviously is a great route runner, and he got great hands, and obviously he catches a high volume number of passes thrown to him in terms of his catch to target ratio. Like it's incredible, and it's been that way for quite some time. And I think he's a Chargers franchise leader, I believe, in yards and touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
really
yards.
He beat Lance Allworth.
I think he's over Antonio Gates and
Kellen Winslow. Sure,
Kellen Winslow. Yeah. So, but he's definitely up there. And the fact that he's still performing at a high level, being productive as he was, that gives me even more excitement to see him team up with DJ Moore. Now, a lot of defense.
So much excitement.
They're not going to know how to play us, Chef, honestly, because now all the attention can't be on
so excited
because you match up somebody with Keenan Allen on one-on-one basis. Oh, he gonna kill him. He gonna eat that corner alive, man. And
I'm ready to see Jair Alexander just eat it. I'm ready to see him.
I'm ready for his ass. Yeah,
like,
I'm ready for somebody to shut him the hell up.
Separating the Bears fan in me from the football fan in me. Like, I understand Jair Alexander's game. He talks a big game, and I could respect that. But then back to the Bears fan, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. He talks to me.
In fact, he went that green yellow jersey. Yeah, fuck him.
I hate the guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The other good thing about having a guy like Keenan Allen on our team now is steel sharpens steel. Those cornerbacks on our side during practices, they're going to get better too, seeing a guy like that practicing.
This is why Crooked is such an athlete.
So excited. I'm so excited.
Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing how Tyreek Stevenson grow because he had a damn good rookie season. He's only going to get better from here, right?
I got to give Crooked. Credit. Let me give Crooked some credit because Crooked, you, out of everyone on the network, you probably talk the least, but I think you say the most because that's a really, really strong point. Like, and that's something that people forget, and that's something that like I think just gets lost when we talk about who's the greatest of all time. When we have these, in-depth conversations, we forget that like we forget like the season doesn't start with the first game. There is a whole ass training camp that I think it starts in May or June or whatever. It's like, and from day one, the Chiefs defense is going to be so good because they're going up against Patrick fucking Mahomes every day. And on the one hand, they know they have a great quarterback, so they're motivated every day. On the other hand, they're going up against someone so good. That's part of why we knew the Packers would be so good every year, because they had to go up against Rodgers, and obviously the Patriots had Brady, and it's like, and yeah, like just to your point, like Keenan Allen is going to give Tyreek Stevenson that work in practice, and Tyreek is going to yeah, iron sharpens iron is really the best way to put it.
Easy. You know who else I'm excited to see?
All of them. Fuller or not Fuller?
As dynamic as he is.
Gordon.
DeAndre Swift is a very dynamic dual threat.
I love Swift.
I am too. Listen, I've had him on my fantasy team past 2 years, and the first year I had him, I won the fantasy league.
There you go.
The second year, obviously, I was having too many injuries in other places where he couldn't really like supersede all the injuries and inconsistencies I had with other players. But DeAndre Swift is a dual fucking threat at running back, and I am excited to see how dynamic this offense is about to become, because now we have so many weapons now. You can't zone in on one person now, because DeAndre can catch passes out the backfield. He can line up and slide if he needs to, as well as run the ball. And so I'm excited to see how well him and Roshan Johnson works out. Obviously, it's still kind of an uncertainty what's going to happen with Khalil Herbert. Is he going to play running back number 2? Obviously, this is his 5th year too. He wasn't a first round.
If he could just focus on those third and shorts,
I'm not sure if we're going to like restructure his contract or
no. Honestly, look. First of all, I don't think he's going to demand a lot on the market, Khalil Herbert, because there are a lot of players kind of like him. But if he could focus on those third and short situations, or be in the game on maybe goal line packages and whatnot.
We can finally start using Blessing game for fucking third and shorts like that. Blessing game and Roshan should be made
exactly
for
right. And what Coach Jeff just said, and that's what I want to highlight right now, is change of pace. Yes, a change of pace back, but really the Bears have a lot of change of pace players at all positions, especially looking at the offense. Obviously, the running back, you got your Bruiser and Herbert, and then you got Roshan, who could kind of do a little bit of everything, and then Swift is more of the elusive back who could still, he could take a pounding, he could stiff arm a guy here and there, but he's he's that's a lot of versatility in the running back room.
Absolutely.
Then you look at the receiver room.
Guys.
Yeah, what's up?
I just want to thank Easy for having me on tonight. I'm going to get off. For a couple of reasons, mostly because of my connection and lack of support with my
Coach. Whenever your birthday is, we're gonna send you a mic. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to get you a really good mic. That's what we're gonna do.
Well,
dude, we need to
luckily it's tax season, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, you know it.
Luckily,
this is a really
luckily
good
it's tax season.
This is a really
good
good
get some equipment. Yeah. But I want to thank you for having me on. I know you've been trying to get me on for a while. Today was a perfect storm because I switched my work schedule, so I was done with work at about 1:30 this afternoon, and I had a whole day to sleep and rest for this. But thank you for having me on. It's obviously great to see Mr. Chicago face to face again and not just in the chat. And Crooked, I want to thank you in so many ways other than this podcast, and you know what I'm talking about. And you and me, sir, will be meeting before the year is over.
Yes, sir.
So
absolutely.
We'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
And actually, hopefully, I'll be able to see you within the year or so, Easy, because I won't be where you are, but I'll be closer to you than I am now.
No, if you're in Arizona, hey, I'll maybe I'll make the trip. We'll see. We could strike up the band.
Cardinals.
Is that in Arizona this year?
Yeah, but
it's in Arizona.
I'm going to log off now. We will talk again in this format, obviously hopefully before the draft or right after the draft, because I think I'm gonna take a week off of the draft too, so we can compass it up, and then we'll chop it up again. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you everyone who tuned in, and I'm going to sign off. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate
always good to have Always good to have Coach Chef on the show. Anyway, what was the point I was making about? Oh yeah, then receivers, right? You got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, not a fast guy anymore. I mean, he's quick though. Like he could run really good routes, and he'll get open. Like he's a good, really, really strong possession guy. And then you look across from him, and you got DJ Moore, who is a speed demon and could kind of do a little bit of everything. A little bit, he could get you yards after the catch. He could get you, he could be a possession guy when he has to be. And like he's a really good deep threat. So it's like that. And then, obviously,
real quick, can we talk about how underrated Gus Everett is? Because that
Gerald, I love Gerald Everett.
He is a big time red zone target, man. And I'm loving the dynamic that he brings to the offense from a tight end standpoint, because him and Cole Kmet, obviously they both tight ends, but they're two different types of threats at tight end. And I love what Everett brings, especially in the red zone, because there's been too many damn games that I've watched of this damn team where we've left way too many touchdowns on that field, whether we won or lost. We left too many points on that field, and that's the stat that you don't get to see on the stat sheet. How many opportunities that we had that should have been touchdowns?
I'm glad you mentioned him, because I do want to talk about him a little bit. So yeah, Everett, he played obviously in Los Angeles, where I live, I guess, and there was one game they were playing the Chiefs. It was like a Thursday night early in the season, and I think it was a tie game at this point, or at least it was like a one-score game in one direction. But I think it was tied, and the Chargers were driving down the field, and by the Chargers I mean Justin Herbert and Gerald Everett were driving down the field. They went, he caught a pass over the middle for like 20 yards, 30 yards, and then eventually like he got one, brought it down to the 3-yard line, and Brandon Staley, being the idiot that he is, he doesn't, send in his goal line package. He's like, no, we're going no huddle, no huddle, no huddle, no huddle. And at this point, Gerald, his name is Gerald. I got to remember, it's not Gerald. It's Gerald. Gerald Everett is just gassed at this point from, carrying the team down the field. They call an out route to him. It's picked off by the Chiefs. They go 100 yards the other day. Same play. Win the game, win the Super Bowl, and, like months later. But yeah, so it's like he was being disgustingly misused, I think, in Los Angeles throughout his time there. And, as a tight end number 2 with Kmet, like we got two good tight ends and 2 good receivers. So it's like you could run ace or ace or not? Yeah, 12 personnel. Is it 12 or 11?
Yeah, so
12.
I misspoke when I said Gus Everett.
Yeah, you can run 12 personnel all game.
I'm telling you, he's a big body guy, and he can create separation for himself, even in the red zone, even in the end zone. He's been able to have opportunities where he created space for himself, and he would go up there and go catch it. Like that's what I love about his effort too. So again, effort is something you can't teach when it comes.
I mean, 6'3" isn't huge for a tight end, but he plays big. Like he fits the mold of like the Chargers looking for their next Antonio Gates. Now I'm not saying he's as good as Antonio Gates, because Antonio Gates should be in the Hall of Fame, but he is, Walmart version. Sure. Like he's his own guy, and he's very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Best tight end group in the North. I agree
with that.
I agree with that. I think the Packers have 2 good ones.
Hockenson is still good with Minnesota, but who else they got?
Well, I mean, Laporta's really good. Laporta's legit.
No, I'm talking about Minnesota, though. I mean, Hockenson is the only – I mean, he's a solid tight end, no doubt. And
best wide receiver –
too, but, yeah, no.
Best wide receiver 1 and 2 in the North? I don't know how I feel. I don't –
Jefferson and –
For me, I think Jefferson
is still better. Yeah,
I think Jefferson and my dog is better. I think Jefferson's one of those guys.
Addison was pretty damn good at USC.
Addison is good.
He is a pretty good receiver too. So, but we don't even know. I mean, because Justin Jefferson looked a little bit disgruntled right now. So we don't know if he's going to sign. He declined a $30 million a year contract.
Money solves that all.
The fact that he could be looking to get traded or
hey, look,
y'all
I would not mind.
Y'all got Sam Darnold. I'm not gonna catch no damn pass no Sam Darnold. He's terrible.
Hey, no, yeah, honestly,
his numbers are gonna dwindle quite a bit because of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's numbers.
We should drink to that. Honestly, we should celebrate the fact that Sam Darnold is now with the Vikings, because that is good. that's good for us, right?
That
like
is fucking hilarious.
you
They're
know,
going to be in the basement now. Now I
I
feel
sure hope
much
so.
better about what we're doing.
The Vikings have never had more than 2 losing seasons in a row, but they had a winning. But this would be 2 in a row for them. So yeah, I mean, I think they're bad. I think, I mean, they're going to draft a guy. They're probably going to get like
They're
a
going to draft a running
McCarthy or
back, and
something.
they're going to draft a quarterback for sure.
I wanted to guys get your thoughts on this real quick. So for the free agent guys coming in, like Swift and Everett, coming in to negotiate and all that, you would have to think that part of the talks with them is them asking the GM or the coach and be like, "What's your plan at QB? Are you guys keeping Justin? Or are you guys drafting a rookie quarterback? And what's more appealing? Is it more appealing to have them be like, oh yeah, we're trading Justin, we're getting a rookie quarterback, or no, we're keeping Justin, we're building around him, and you're adding you to the pieces with Justin?" I would think saying like me going in, I'd feel more comfortable rolling with the guy like Justin, and the team telling me that, than the team saying, no, we're trading Justin and we're looking to move on from him and draft this rookie quarterback. That if I was like Swift or Everett, that would maybe deter me, I would say, unless I don't care about that and I'm just looking for the biggest bag.
I think
about
I mean, they wouldn't have signed here. They wouldn't have signed here.
Yeah.
But look, just real quick, Mr. C, like, let me take this real quick. I think something that we're all ignoring is right now, and look, I know there's a lot of speculation. Maybe Fields was never on the market. Maybe that was all just a ruse, whatever. The reality is the odds right now are minus 1,200 in favor of Caleb being the number 1 overall pick and going to the Bears. So like, I'm just saying the odds. It's the odds. Like, I buy into them. I just buy into them. And like, that's just a very mathematically driven vision of it, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Mr. C, I know you wanted to speak.
Yeah. So 2 things. Well, one, I want you all to keep in mind what DeAndre Swift said about Justin, because obviously he knows him from his days in Georgia. So obviously at that time, Justin didn't play a whole lot, but he was on a team that DeAndre Swift was on at that time when Swift was coming out of Georgia. So he knows that the talent that Justin has. And he was like, oh, without a doubt, man, he ain't even reached his ceiling yet, which lets me know he obviously there had to have been some type of conversation with the front office with him in regards to Justin and about what they will plan or won't plan on doing. We don't know for sure what the nuances to that conversation is or was, but I'm almost certain that they had some type of conversation, whether it be minute or even enlarged, with DeAndre Swift and with Everett about what they're looking to possibly do with exercising all their options when it comes to the quarterback position. But Swift can speak to what the talent that Justin has because he played with him in Georgia down here. Right. So
there's also that's a good point. I haven't even thought about that. But also it's like I can think of 24 million reasons why DeAndre Swift joined the Bears. And that is each reason is $1. Each reason represents $1. Yeah. I think that's really what it does come down to. That said,
because running backs not getting paid much too, and it's like that's really an insult, man. Because you got to think about this; these guys are taking the greatest poundings of any player that's out there, and
I'm not mad about it.
Like less, like value them less than everybody else. Like you still need a running back, and you still need a rushing attack to keep your defenses honest. So to sit up here and undervalue and underappreciate the running back position, I think that the damn commissioner need to be stepping in and saying, hey, you all can't do this to these guys because these guys are your workhorses out there.
Mr. C, honestly, I don't think the commissioner needs to step in because I think we're seeing the scales tip a little bit. I think that we saw that with Barkley signing a big deal and Swift signing a big deal. Hell, even Montgomery last year signing with the line. Like, I think that teams are starting to realize it is nice to have a feature back. Like, I think once Travis Etienne is going to be able to get a payday, he's going to get like a really good haul.
Especially if you're a running back of that dual threat, caliber, right? So if you're just a pure runner, the pure runners don't necessarily exist anymore as much as they used to, right? You have to be able to be that dynamic Marshall Faulk.
You have to be able to catch.
Curtis Martin kind of guy, right? And so DeAndre Swift, he provides that. Saquon Barkley provides that. Josh Jacobs, he's a strong ass runner. He's not much of a pass or a catcher, but I mean he does what he needs to do in times his number is called to catch passes, but he don't catch as many of them as
Christian McCaffrey is more of that.
Adam Jones or Christian McCaffrey, right? So I mean, obviously, I think the Packers was fucking stupid for letting Adam Jones walk, considering the
Aaron
fact how
Jones,
much
yeah.
of a threat. He's a dual threat. Now, Josh Jacobs, he's a strong ass trying to
I
down, but
hated playing Aaron Jones, man.
I did too.
hated
I fucking hated him.
Oh my gosh! He's the
thorn in my ass, and I'm glad he's gone, but I'm not fucking glad.
Fuck Aaron Jones.
Next door. He went next
he's
door
a great
to the
player.
Vikings. I'm like,
fuck Aaron Jones.
You want to get back at them? Get back at them with another team. I don't want to see his ass anymore. The fact that we got to see his ass again, I'm like, shit.
I'm hopeful that he may not be as effective in this. He may not be as effective in this offense with Sam Darnold. So
look, you might be right.
So I think,
or he might be overutilized because of Sam Darnold. Like if you think about how Daniel Jones leaned on Saquon Barkley, this is going to be a similar situation if you think about it, because Sam Darnold ain't in that goddamn ball out like.
Well, no, they still have to respect Jefferson. Let's be like, they have to put.
But Adam Jones ain't over there for nothing. So
Aaron,
I don't know how that line's going to look protecting him, but the Packers line looked a lot better, providing holes for him to run through.
Adam Jones is Pac-Man Jones. Aaron Jones is the running back, just so you know. But no, I am with you on that. Look, yes, and obviously, I hate the Vikings. I'm not happy we're gonna have to face more Aaron Jones twice a year. But also, when they play the Packers, I do root for the Vikings. So I do hope he runs all over him.
He runs right through.
Look, the Pack fucks are here, and the Vikings are like I don't hate them like I hate Green Bay. So, when
I don't hate anybody like I hate Green Bay except for the fucking clown boys. I just fucking hate them because they get talked about too damn much. It's like
the only team.
What have you done?
The only team I hate. The only team I hate more than Green Bay is probably like ISIS. But other than that, they don't really have a football team. So
no, that's about right, Easy.
Other than that, hey,
I don't like the damn state of Wisconsin. You want me to be real about it? I don't like shit about the state of Wisconsin. Ain't shit there. There's nothing there to do in the entire damn state, let alone in fucking Green Bay.
Chicago don't even like cheese curds.
Listen, it should be illegal to wear green and yellow at the same goddamn time in Chicago. You ought to be. That's an arrest offense. That is a felony. Let me fucking tell it. They should be arrested on site.
Yeah, I'm so with you. I'm so cautious of ever putting anything green and yellow together. I just don't do it.
I don't like the colors.
Yeah, no, they're bad. Look, and unfortunately, it's kept me from rooting for the Oakland A's for a very long time. But hey, I guess
and the Oregon Ducks too.
Yeah, no, I know, and it sucks. I want to like Oregon, but I can't. I just can't with the colors. Hilarious. It's too much, man. But
same thing with Baylor.
Baylor.
That's another good one. But hey, it's also look, you see so much. You don't see a lot of green and yellow teams, but with blue and orange, you got Florida, you got there's definitely more, but I don't know why Florida.
You got
there's a lot. I know there's a lot. I don't know why I'm
Auburn is
Auburn. Yeah. Auburn's a perfect example. Boise State. You got a lot of teams that go that route. But yeah. Anyway, back to.
Whenever an acquaintance or a buddy of mine shows up, wearing his Green Bay stuff, I'm like, Waste Management's here to pick up the trash.
That's exactly what the hell they are. I call them the garbage bag people. That's what the hell they are.
Yeah, no, and these garbage bag people have had our number for the past.
Don't remind me.
Forever. Look, it's been my reality.
It's gonna end.
It's been my reality. I think I did the math. I think we're
fucking in this year.
In my lifetime, I think we're 13-43 against them.
Don't
so
do that. You're bringing up sore issues, Easy.
It doesn't make me happy.
I don't like how that feels.
It doesn't bring me joy, Mr. C. Don't get me wrong.
I know it don't.
Yeah,
it damn sure feel like you're scratching the damn chalkboard with your damn bare fingers.
It is nails on a blackboard. That's for sure. But I do think.
Would you say? Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say I do think that this team, though, the way we're constructed now, it does feel like we're finally saying no. We're done. Just letting them have their way with us. This is Chicago against fucking Green Bay. It's not even a city. It's it's not even.
It's a packing
it's not even anything. Yeah, it's the literal. You could look this up. It is the toilet paper capital of the world. Look up what's the toilet paper capital of the world. It will tell you Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's not a coincidence. And it feels like finally the Bears are putting together a roster that's
that's
capable of keeping
and
pace with this
respectable.
team.
Absolutely.
You know, and I just hope that Eberflus actually coaches well against them this next season, because man, that last game of the season this year, they just had their way with us up and down the field. Jordan Love looked really, really, really good.
And Flus, don't let me catch your ass no goddamn game, no damn LaFleur, no fucking more.
Oh, that was gross.
Don't ever let me see that
I'm
again.
good
Fuck you doing sitting next to him, let alone there with him. I better not ever see that again.
They
better
both need to be
understand
fired.
how serious and how personal this is. Okay?
Yeah, honestly,
you don't like nothing about them bastards.
I should have. You know what? I should have led
that
my.
pissed off both our fan bases, though.
Hell yeah, it did.
Well,
yeah, but like
Green Bay fan base being just
they don't even care because they've been beating our ass
like
all this damn time. They don't care.
But they don't care as much as look, because we're nothing to them at this point. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, right now they're worried about the 49ers and the Cowboys. Like, because not the Cowboys, but they're worried about the Niners because the Niners keep taking their lunch money. And like every time they're in the playoffs. Like, the Niners are our guardian angel team at this point, which is disgusting, but it's the reality. And it's like it's where I'm at with it is like,
once we start winning, I should have start caring again.
I should have, I hope so. But like, I should have started my show with this because like, why are we fraternizing with the enemy? Like, why is that what we're doing, Coach Eberflus? Like, look, if LaFleur's earned that right because he's 10-0 against us. Eberflus, it's this kind of thing that just disgusts me. And like Justin Fields last year, like buying Jordan Love's mom tickets to the game. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we fucking doing? Like, this is football. This is like what's supposed to psychologically replace war. Like, this is like
personal, man.
It's supposed to be like, there is supposed to be bad blood and animosity. Like, if a game gets dirty in a game, like you think the Ravens and the Steelers are out there in the AFC North making friends with each other? No, they're not. Yeah, I mean, they might be friendly.
Justin Fields have the same agent. I would have changed my damn agent if I was Justin Fields. I don't like that shit. This is how personal this shit is. I don't like nothing about you. Nothing, man.
Yeah. No, it feels like a conflict.
Your defensive guys late hit me all the time, and then you want to come for me for tickets? You can eat my ass.
Oh no, yeah. Exactly. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck.
He should have got her like counterfeit tickets or something. Don't let her in the game. Shit, like
you should have pretended like you got tickets for them, only for their ass to sit outside the goddamn stadium and have the fucking tailgate with the rest of the goddamn fan base. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, no, that's what grosses me out, and that's why. And look, I know, like, people don't like. Maybe I shouldn't make the biggest deal about that specifically with regard to Justin Fields. But before we do conclude the show, I do want to kind of get into this discussion again because, as you know, I'm on an island in the group. I'm the one who is saying, no, like, it's time to move on from this guy. I like Justin Fields. I think he has potential to be pretty good. I don't think he's shown enough to lead me to think he could ever carry a franchise. And a lot of that has to do with, like, look, I'm not saying he's not competitive, but, like, there isn't a whole lot of fire there. There isn't, like, a whole lot of, no, I'm going to do my own thing. And maybe I'm missing something, or maybe that's something that he can develop later on. But like, I'm ready to have like, people are like, Caleb Williams is egotistical. He's cocky. He, does this, does that. And I'm like, good. I want a quarterback who's a little bit egotistical. Like, every quarterback who has success is either an asshole or is either not an asshole, Is either, one sec, Mr. Z. Either every quarterback who has success in the NFL is either like a diva, or like to some level a diva, or like kind of egotistical. Like, they have a bit of, they have a bit of a, they have an edge to them. An edge, that's the word. Like Aaron Rodgers, we hate him. I still hate him. He kicked your ass for years.
Don't be that Aaron Rodgers asshole.
No, you don't want to go that far.
Piece of shit.
No, but look, you don't want to be that far. But like, but when he was winning MVPs and throwing 40 touchdowns a season and 5,000 yards, like, shit, whatever. Like, you could be an asshole, whatever. If you're doing that for the Bears, great. Like, and look, I know, like, he's gone off the deep end for sure. I'd say, but like, Tom Brady. Like, I was watching the NFL top 10 divas. Tom Brady was number 10. Like, he's definitely got some diva in his personality. Like, Mahomes, you see him yelling at people and yelling at refs on the sideline. And oh, by the way, Crooked, your dog looks a little bit like my dog. Yeah, Peyton Manning. Yeah, absolutely. He's fiery. He's
Peyton Manning yelling at Jeff Saturday. Call the damn plays, Jeff. Call the damn plays.
No, but like, Peyton Manning is like, and I don't usually like this term, but he's like an alpha. Like he'll go to the line, he sees what he sees, and like he's not afraid to take charge. And I just haven't seen Justin like take command like that. And a quarterback has the ability, because of the unique nature of the position, to take charge, to take command. And that's something I have seen from Caleb Williams, and that's something that people don't like from Caleb Williams, but that's kind of what we need in Chicago. That's kind of what we've been missing since Jay Cutler, who did that as well as throw a bunch of interceptions, which is not good, but still, you know, he had a good NFL career, I guess. But like, point I'm making is, don't let Caleb Williams' ego be a turnoff from drafting him, because you want a quarterback who's going to be that guy, who's going to be, you know, a little full of himself, because otherwise just get used to fucking losing. Just get used to it. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I know Mr. C's got something to say.
I'll say this. So obviously my position on this still stands where it's been. So I'm not pro Justin or anti Justin. I'm not pro Caleb or anti Caleb. I am pro Ryan Poles getting this shit right. No matter what decision you make, you better stand 10 toes down on the shit, and you better be fucking right about this.
No, I'm with you there.
This can either set us up for the future, next 6 to 10 years, or this can set us fucking back next to the next 10 to 12 years. Now we're having to go back through this shit yet again because we didn't fucking get it right. Whether you keep Justin, you better be right about it. Whether you draft another quarterback, you better be right about it. Either way, there are more scenarios in this equation that should result to Poles losing his job than there are him retaining it. Mainly
as always, because there are 32 teams, only 14 make the playoffs.
Yep.
Like,
but
you know,
the quarterback position is the most important position that you have to fucking get right. And yet we have yet in 100 fucking years plus to be confident in talking shit about our quarterback, because we don't fucking know what day our quarterback gonna show up and when the fuck he's not. Because we have so many inconsistencies with this position. We've never gotten this position right. And the fact that we are in the most critical time in this offseason. This is probably the most I want to say the most exciting yet scary time offseason that I've probably ever seen this franchise have, probably ever, because we are in a situation where we can really take off from here, or we're going to be a revolving fucking door and have a situation where we draft another quarterback and now he don't play like shit and we don't make the playoffs. Now the coaching staff is fired. Now this quarterback is coming into his second fucking coaching staff in 2 years, just as we did with the last two fucking quarterbacks that we drafted. Like, how much sense does that make to have to put another quarterback through the same shit that the last two quarterbacks, one of which who should have never been a quarterback on this team to begin with, the other one we didn't do right by in totality, and we asked him to do more than what the fuck we were supposed to do in our own respective positions.
Honestly, I don't think, like, if I'm being honest with you, Mr. C, I don't think we did right by either of the quarterbacks.
No, we did, but Mitch should have never even fucking been here. Mitch should have never even been he should have never been drafted. If you want me to be honest about that, he did nothing significant in North Carolina. Nobody was fucking watching North Carolina fucking football. He even win barely half fucking his 13 games that he didn't play.
It's funny you say that. The one North Carolina game I watched in the Mitch Trubisky year, I didn't even watch the game. I didn't watch the game. I was watching Tennessee versus Georgia, and like I was at a bar, and the North Carolina Florida State game was on in the background, and I just saw, like, I think North Carolina won on like a 60-yard field goal or something, and everyone was going crazy. But other than that, like, that's the only time I knew North Carolina. That's the only time I was like consciously aware of North Carolina actually having a football team.
Easy. The damn kids that go to school there don't even go to the goddamn football games.
No, I know. No, I'm with you.
That's a basketball program.
Look, so no, we traded up one spot to. We traded up one spot to draft. We traded up one spot to draft a guy who started one season at a basketball school. Like, yes, I'm with you. He should have been a 3rd or 4th round pick, and just like a career backup. Like that's what he should have been at the beginning.
He should have been forced to play another goddamn season in college to actually get his footing under him, because
or sit in the NFL. Apparently, look, he's a good scout team quarterback. That's why he signed with the Bills.
I don't know if you guys
go ahead.
If you guys know this, but with North Carolina's football team, their number 23 is retired. So that's how,
Yeah, no, that tells you everything you need to know. And let me tell you,
that's how much the
listen,
basketball blends into
it's
football.
not
retired
retired
from
no
Evan
goddamn
Hester.
on the football team. It's from the goddamn person that's back here. That's who retired that goddamn
exactly.
number. Like, come on, man. Like obviously LT went to North Carolina. A few other
I thought it went to State.
I think he went to North Carolina.
You're probably right.
Julius Peppers went to North Carolina too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
no, you're right.
Yeah.
So look, there's going to be some good guys, but not Mitch Trubisky. Like,
not no goddamn quarterback. And listen, Drake May, to be honest with you, I'm not that moved by him either.
I think he's better than Mitch.
He's better than Mitch, but that's not saying a lot though. If that's your measuring stick, shit, you're fucked. If that's the measuring stick.
I look, independently from that, I actually do like Drake May. I think he's going to be pretty good. Like he could sling it.
In the right system, I think so. In the right system, but
yes,
again, because you just never know who you can go to. That could be catastrophic for his growth and development, depending on who he goes to and what quarterback coach he has around him that's not developing him the right way as a pro football quarterback. Because we've seen times, again, we're in a situation right now. We had a fucking incompetent fucking OC coaching Justin Fields and calling the same repetitive ass, mediocre ass fucking plays 4 or 5 fucking times in a row and thought the damn defense was going to be fooled by it. You got to be a moron to think something stupid like that.
Yeah, no, there was, look, don't get me wrong. Getsy was as bad as they get at offensive.
How's he still got a job? Like, somebody, listen, Mark Davis, he don't give a shit about wasting money, clearly, because there's no way in hell you're going to just give. Did you not see how bad Luke Getsy was? See, well, I know it's not about what you know. So it's about who you know. It's about who you know, Crooked, because ain't no fucking way in hell with a straight face you're going to tell me that I wouldn't hire Luke Getsy to fucking teach my damn dog how to bark. And I ain't got no goddamn dog. What does that tell you?
No, I agree. But Antonio Pierce was saying, hey, when we played Chicago, they beat us with a no-name quarterback. So I was impressed with the offensive coordinator and what he did. That was part of the reason why they brought him there, interviewed him, and which is whatever. It's not my team.
One game.
So because of the one game,
I don't give a fuck.
That's one game. I love what Pierce is doing, but that's one game. He should not.
Look, I will say, overall, I want to say I do love what Pierce is doing. Like the fact that he's like, when it comes to Mahomes, we're gonna have the Jordan rules. I fucking love that. I love that so much. Yep. Like, please, look, I like Mahomes, but please beat his ass into the ground because that's entertaining. That's football. That's like I want to see that so badly. Like, that's gonna be. And by the way, Gardner Minshew totally fits the Raiders vibe of just like this. I don't know. He obviously he's not like Ken Stabler, but just like this rogue style quarterback. I like it. Now they're not going to win a lot.
Kind of guy. He's gonna air that bitch out. You know what I mean? And Devontae Adams won't be short of any fucking receiving record. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no. Devontae Adams. Look, with Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams will put up good numbers. Hey, Dad, glad you're still here. He looks 70s. Yes, he does look 70s. That's true. Gardner Minshew looks like he was from a different era. Probably would have been better in a different era where you were allowed to throw more interceptions. But yeah. So we all know obviously where I stand on the Justin Fields debate. Obviously, if the Bears do end up keeping Justin Fields and going a different direction in the draft, maybe trading back from Marvin Harrison, maybe drafting like a Joe Alt type player, like whatever they end up doing, obviously I'm still going to support the hell out of this team. And, I'll always love the Bears. I just think that quarterback like Caleb's available. You got to be able to take that swing and take him.
Easy. I will say this last part. No matter what position or where you stand with the Justin or not Justin thing, or anybody for that matter, for everyone that's listening out this Embarrassed Nation, I want you all to hear me and hear me well. No matter who we take or who we keep at quarterback position, Ryan Poles is setting this quarterback up, whoever that person is, for success with the dynamic players that he has acquired in the goddamn free agency. With Everett, with Swift, with Keenan Allen, he's putting this quarterback, whoever that person is, in a damn good position to be successful, because now you have a requisite of weapons to utilize at your damn disposal. So make sure whoever that person is, you come in and you realize the position that you're in, because you have dynamic players all around you now It's all about you utilizing them in the most critical and most impactful moments of time in these goddamn games. Is going to equate to fucking touchdowns and wins.
And that starts at practice. Like they gotta, starting in June with training camp. I want to be hearing good reports about how hard these guys are grinding. Like I want them to like pay attention to detail, get everything right. Like show up on time and just the nuts and bolts of being a good football team need to be evident from the beginning. Like I need to see them. I need to see the proof that they're working their asses off. Like I'm tired of fucking losing, man. I hate losing. Losing sucks.
We gotta make the playoffs. We gotta make the playoffs. This is non-negotiable. This is year 3 now. Poles made a declaration when he first got to the goddamn conference at the podium and said, we're going to take the North and never give it back. So guess what, Poles? This fan base is going to fucking hold your feet to that fire. You can't make statements like that and think you're not going to be held accountable for that. That's a bold statement because in fact, we was in the goddamn basement in the goddamn division. You better take this goddamn division starting this upcoming season and start to never give the shit back.
We need to
holding you to.
One thing is, we need to make the playoffs. We also need to beat Green Bay. We need to beat Green Bay at least once.
Absolutely.
I want to sweep them, but if we can't just get swept by them every year, man.
No. It's not a fact. Fuck that. I'm gonna go further than that. We better beat them both times this upcoming season with these goddamn moves that we're making. No, because we're not done making moves, and we still got plenty more money to spend.
No, finally, I like what they've been doing. And just to reiterate, but wait, Crooked, say what you were going to say because it looked like you were about to say something.
Well, just to answer your question here, is about which way we should go. I know you're in the Caleb Williams camp.
I'm alone.
I'm just no. I mean, either way, I'm going to stick to what I said.
No, in this network, I'm alone. But yes,
I'm going to stick to what I said the last time we're on, where I said. I think we're going to stick with Justin. We're going to trade that pick, but we're not going to trade it until the week of the draft, if not draft day. And it kind of seems like that's where we're going, or it seems like that's at least still within the realm of possibilities there. So I would hope that they keep Justin, but like you said, either way, if they do trade Justin and draft Williams, I'm a Bears fan. Like I'm going to cheer for him and root for him.
Oh, of course.
So
absolutely.
I get he has flaws. Part of the reason why I don't think that makes sense is like every analyst says this kid's going to need a few years to develop. They said the same thing about Justin Fields when he got drafted. So we're in the process of developing him, and he has taken steps. It's not like he's regressed every single year or stayed stagnant. So
yeah, I think when it comes down to it, like the worst kind of fan is the one who's like, look, if they don't do what I think is right, then I don't even want to win. I just want to be right. And I hate that. Right. I hate that level of thinking. And there are people like that, believe it or not. But I think the Bears, obviously we're going to support our team no matter what ends up happening. I think they will end up taking Caleb, but I guess we'll see. But yes, as my dad asked, playoffs is the most important thing this year.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I mean, listen, man, that's
too,
real.
Jim.
Because we won 7 games this past year, so we can't we can't lose. We can't win less games. We can only go up from here. And when I say playoffs, I mean we need to control our own goddamn fate in the playoffs. Like we don't need to be depending on somebody losing for us to win. No, fuck that. We better make the playoffs. It may be a playoff berth that we earned.
Yes.
Not that we had to wait for somebody to win or lose
into the playoffs.
Get in. No, fuck all that.
I don't want to be scoreboard watching unless it's like for the number 1 seed. If it's like, oh, I'm watching and hoping the Niners lose or something so we can get the number 1 seed. Like that's the only time I want to be doing that. But really, I don't want to be starting my vacation. I don't want the Bears to be starting their vacation in January. I want them to be starting it in early January. I want them to be starting it hopefully much later. Obviously, hopefully not till February, but
I don't even want to go on vacation anymore.
So
Nothing would help pay for that new stadium faster than this team making the playoffs for multiple years.
Man,
no doubt.
Making the playoffs, man. Listen, the damn revenue gonna shoot the hell up $1 billion easily.
Fucking right.
We make the damn playoffs.
Yes,
goddamn right.
There's no doubt.
So
and look,
they want to build that stadium.
And just before we wrap up, I'm gonna reiterate who we've signed. Keenan Allen, that's an A+, obviously. Trade, you get a Hall of Famer, that's going to be an A+. DeAndre Swift, I think, like that's like an A signing, like maybe like a B, a really solid signing.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I was going to say A-, because I actually like Swift, though. So
I love Swift. I loved him at Georgia. I love him in the NFL. Gerald Everett, I think that's a solid B as well.
Yeah.
Kevin Byard, who we didn't even talk about yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's
he's a solid safety. And
he tackles. He's like he's a ball hawk and he tackles. And Eddie Jackson was not tackling, so I'm happy with that. Then Coleman Shelton, who might not be the best center in the world, but he started every game last year for a decent team. So we need depth.
At least he was a fucking center and not some damn body who plays some center here and there. No.
I was center
specifically a center.
I was center for my Pee Wee League team. He's a center.
Right guard that played center or no left tackle that plays center. No, we need somebody who specializes in this one specific.
We need someone who is used to having a grown man's hands under his ass all the time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
No homo.
And that's good. I'm glad they made
all pun intended, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but no, I know that and I know Mr. C, you're not too happy about this one. I actually am, and that's Jonathan Owens. He's more of a depth signing. He comes from Green Bay, but it's right now, I'm just as someone who used to love Simone Biles, I was really upset that I was really upset that she was dating someone who was with the Packers, and now she's dating someone who's with the Bears. So that's awesome.
She upgraded.
Burn all that shit, Simone. We're gonna welcome you with open arms.
Oh my goodness!
We're gonna stretch out the red carpet for you. We're gonna make sure you had the best fucking Bears paraphernalia you could ever fucking find on this goddamn side of the
orange and navy blue looks so much better on her.
It looks so much better on you.
Oh my goodness! And you could throw out the first pitch at the Cubs and Sox games.
Goddamn right. We would make you a Simone Biles jersey. We make you an honorary goddamn Bear. You'll be a
honestly. Yeah, you're one of us now, Simone. So welcome to the club.
Yes. Everybody meet Walter Payton. This is my dog's name here, Walter Payton.
Is it really Walter Payton?
Walter Payton.
Yeah,
that's a great name. What up, Walter Payton?
I love that.
That's a cute dog. Luna, come here. I also got my dog here. We'll see if she doesn't like the camera so much, but yeah. My dad saying the center, I believe, was ranked 18th, which is middle of the road. Fine. That's fine. I'll take a middle of the road center.
I would take that.
Look,
that's better
can
than
he get
some
the ball
goddamn body hiking the damn ball, don't know who the fuck to block or blocking his own goddamn teammate.
Look, as long as you're able to get the ball to the fucking quarterback, that's all I care about.
Absolutely.
Yes. And Ryan Bates, also they traded for him, just a solid swing guy, which is important because you need a bunch of good swing guys on that offensive line. And I
traded for him, but I mean, he is a good swing guy. So yeah.
Yes, I'm with you there. He's got a good beard.
Yeah,
he's got a good beard. Anyway, guys, as always, it's been great chopping it up with you guys. Definitely a lot of fun, and thank you to everyone who chimed in to the chat. Always a pleasure. I'll name them all. Obviously, my dad. Thank you, of course. Pops for joining in. Richard and Anthony, the brothers. Great having you. Give your 2 cents and whatnot. Richard, I like having you in my corner. Lorenzo, always great. Getting into it with you in a friendly manner, of course. Always, it's all friendly, of course, and it's all love. And then Coach Chef, of course, who kind of tuned in afterwards. And Daniel Kalin, and Trey Chicago. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge your comment. Offense starts with the QB, no matter how you slice it. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if you're still here, but yeah. Anyhow, what'd you say, Coach? Crooked. What were you saying?
I'm just saying that was facts. He's right.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, facts. I got you.
Thank you.
So anyway, on behalf of Coach Chef, who was here, a lot of CC names, Crooked Commish, and of course Mr. Chicago. I am Elijah, or Easy, I guess, as they call me on this network.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, cul-de-sac as well. 2% milk. I've had a few nicknames on this show. This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production, but I'll let T-Nick tell you that.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.